welcome back to Glastonbury, and it is final time, ladies and gentlemen, here at Glastonbury 2018. Delighted for the final time this weekend to be on commentary for this game. Benjamin Rees here with you, bringing the exciting conclusion of the Glastonbury tournament, and things starting pretty well for pick and mix with a break to start this game. So, bit of a southwest rivalry this, pick and mix Plymouth Alumni against Old Spice Alumni from the University of Exeter. If you're watching the final here on the Glastonbury Tournament YouTube channel, please do get in touch. It's always good to hear from you. My Twitter handle at the top of the screen for you there, at Benjamin Rees. Always nice to hear from you. And this ball is going to sit and is just about going to land out of bounds. So Old Spice will bring it in from the brick mark. Marching the disc up now. Low release backhand, it's just a bit too low, bounces off the receiver's hand. So Johnson going up a 2-0 lead early on. Cutter begins to take off up line. Gets it in the backfield instead. Gonna shoot deep, this is gonna float out of bounds. Where was the greatest though? It was totally possible. Disappointing lack of effort, I'll be honest. Throw very much poorly executed in the end. You'll see the Old Spice offense go to work again. Fakes the underneath. We'd like to see that faked a little bit earlier. Get the cutter out of the space. Just to throw it, jam it down the sideline. Receiver gets hands on it, but it was a tough ask. Quite a bit of heat on it. So they just go on this sideline, see if they look to swing it off. Are they going to try and break down this sideline? Don't know if they can tow it in bounds. It's tracking it all the way down. Never able to get a play on it to go inbound, to keep it inbounds either, and regain some field position. So they're going to surrender the disc right at the point where they got it back. And jog it up to the spot on the sideline where the disc left the pitch. Looking downfield, not a lot developing early on in the stall count. Going to try and zing a hammer in there, tight coverage, and a couple of pick and mix defenders are there, and one of them's going to knock it away. So again, not a lot going on offensively early on in this game for Old Spice. There's a cutter that's gone deep, they're going to fake it instead, they're going to come under. Still get a decent yardage gain off it. That's going to zing it deep. Oh, nice catch with the outstretched left hand. I thought there was too much Cabasco on it, but he can certainly handle his Spice, or his Old Spice, should that be. And another break for pick and mix. Excellent start to this game again. Old Spice have not got their footing at all yet so far, and they need to find it soon, otherwise this deficit might be too big to overcome. 2-0 the current score. But this is a pick and mix side. We've seen go through patches of really nice passages of play, and then other points where they can't really seem to string together passes and they look a bit sloppy and clumsy, and we'll see if they can keep up the consistency, the level of consistency and quality they've started this game with throughout the 50-minute time limit. Ball goes up, tails off towards the sideline. Will just about stay in bounds though. Fielded just in front of the end zone cone. Looking for an option downfield. Takes the reset off instead. Shimmying the shoulders, looking for a break perhaps. Go with an eye release, it will fade off towards this sideline but stay in bounds. Centred into the middle, where they just does tend to be centred to. Nice yardage gainer. A couple of players deep already. Underneath cut comes towards that far sideline. Hammer towards this near break sideline. Nice simple swing. He's going to get the disc back. Short yardage gainer. Doesn't like the option on the open side. Nice pivot around, really squaring up the shoulders and the feet. Making that break towards the middle a lot easier. Going with the hammer. Going to ask a lot of it. Oh, what a play! That is a hell of a grab. Quite rightly throws the disc in the air in celebration. I thought that disc was going to be turnover for sure. It looked too far. But somehow, saving it from the clutches of gravity. In every right to be pleased with that one. Wonderful play. And that's a nice way for Old Spice to get on the board. They would have perhaps liked it to be a bit less dicey than that, but they all count the same. They cut the deficit in half, but they're still down 2-1 to their southwest opponents and rivals. And I guess it's cool as well for a tournament held in Glastonbury to have two teams from the southwest of England make the final. Going to go with a blading backhand pull. Going to die in towards the centre of the pitch. Try and get the disc moving quickly before this Old Spice defence gets set. Looking for an option underneath. Defence doing a good job so far this point. Takes the dump off. Looking downfield, surveying his options. Trapped right on the sideline. Going to put it deep. Oh, he's got beyond the defenders. Not sure what he was looking at there. Maybe got drawn a bit underneath, but either way, the throw to the end zone is right on the spot. Nice catch as well. Safe and comfortable with two hands. Pick and mix reopened the 2-point lead at 3-1. Till the ball goes up from pick and mix. Fielded in the end zone by Old Spice. Taking the reset in the backfield. Just going underneath. And this is a Old Spice side that's not afraid to work the disc through their female players. Very strong in both genders. It could even be argued that their female players might be higher respective quality than their male ones, but good all over the side. And that's an unfortunate drop for pick and mix. You've had obviously an excellent weekend as well, making it to the final. Centered pass, going to shoot towards the back corner. This is spicy. Ah, nice take. Excellent box out, got position early on. Defender tried to get there, but was always sealed off from the play. So, back on the board, still trailing. 3-2 to pick and mix the current score. Nice shot of the Glastonbury Tor there in the background. It's a very picturesque location here. Going with another blading backhand pull into the centre of the end zone. Confidently caught by Pick and Mix. Stepping out wide, showing that forehand. Going to zing it towards the far side. Help defender might close in. It doesn't matter though, as the sideline closes in much farther than they think they're expecting. Disc is out of bounds, and so now this is an excellent chance to break and tie this game back up again, but they can't utilise it. Throws a bit too far. Calls from the sideline to knuckle down and start playing some defence. This goes underneath. Underneath once more. Just taking short passes at the moment. High pressure, not quite tight enough. On the sideline. Try and pen him in here. Just about squeezing it through, but it's overshot and picked off in the back. Little swing pass. This one going for a yardage, going to shoot deep for the back of the end zone. That's a lovely put. Take that one all the way to the bank. Absolute money. And we're tied back up for the first time since the start of this game. Old Spice finally drawing level at 3 apiece. Neither side able to open up a large margin in the opening paragraph of this game, but obviously there's plenty of time left, only about 15 minutes in these 50-minute games. It's a bit of an ominous looking cloud overhead, currently covering the sun, making things a little bit nippier than it has been at points during the day, but this is an overwhelming improvement on the weather we had yesterday, which was pretty dreadful in all honesty. Going to try to get a lot of outside in on the inside out rather on the pull, but gets the edge all wrong as the disc sails off. Finally hits the turf, a significant distance out of bounds. Oswald will bring it in from the brick mark. Sorry, Pick and Mix rather will bring it in from the brick mark. It's been a long weekend for everybody, I think. Disc checked in. Nice pivot on that around break. It's going to be a pick called. It's going to bring a temporary stoppage to proceedings. Did affect that play, so disc is going to go back to the hands of the thrower. It's obviously on the brick mark. Just a little pop off to the dump. Squeaks around underneath, big bid. Doesn't quite get there. Again, really active on the force. Able to complete that pass though. Couple of cutters in the same area. High release on that backhand for the dump. Oh, that's come out a little bit weird. Palmed away by an Old Spice defender so they can break and take for lead the first time for this game and bring it on serve. Couple of cutters coming to the underneath space, but one of them does a good job, puts a name on it, makes the catch. The poach dump makes the catch with that one hand. As underneath, if they take the option, they do find it. Continuation is well covered. Trying to isolate a dump, they go up line. Pivots out for the swing. Defender's close, not quite close enough. Can't take advantage of them out of position. Oh, the throw's going to hang a little bit. It allows a pick and mix defender to close in, get a hand and pour it away. Just pushed out of the reach of the Old Spice players. That around break is too far though. They didn't sit up for long enough. So more break opportunities for Old Spice, this time off a short field in the red zone. Looks at the end zone, surveys his options. Nice break right into the centre of the pitch. Takes a reset towards the break side. Pivots out wide, but doesn't like the option. Goes for the high release, flick! And that is straight on the money. Nicely done from Old Spice, who finally found their, I was going to say their sea legs, not quite how it would work. Found their grass legs at any rate, and going to take the lead for the first time this game. 3 on the bounce for them. 4-3 the current scoreline. The rain of yesterday is thankfully long gone, but there is definitely a bit of wind and a bit of nip in the air. Something for these teams to contend with. The ground's still slick as well, beginning to churn up in places. You can see some slightly muddier patches going with that roll curving backhand pull again. That's been their staple. Lands inbounds, but then rolls out, so they get to bring it to the front of the end zone. This catch is going to be ever so slightly tougher as the disc is going to bobble in the wind. It's a lovely throw into a really tight window down that far sideline. Steps around. There's a player wide open at the back of the end zone. They don't find her quickly enough. And they do just pop it into the front there, though. That was a nice possession. And point for Pick and Mix. And tied up now at 4s. And I would not like to call a winner in this game. Thankfully, only 20 minutes in. Still got plenty of it left. We'll see what he decides to have left in their bag of tricks as this game develops. So just gets centred to start off this possession. Pivots around, tries to squeeze it through the middle, but the defender read it all the way, just harmlessly pats it towards the ground. Goes for the bookends, just about able to tow it in bounds. Gets himself some double happiness. And they retake the lead. 5-4. Good job we made that bookends graphic coming in handy now. I've had many chances to use it today, but this is one of them. See it looking down the middle of the field. Defender peeled off and read it really well and then continues to the end zone. Fake gets the mark biting that close to the end zone. That leaves so much space. Blades just about toes it in bounds. Was very close to being out, but good positioning, good field sense. He's going to switch the lead back over to Pick and Mix. 5-4 up now. That throw spirals in the air. Going to land pretty much about the brick mark. For the low throw, oh, that's a huge piece of that. Big old hand block there. It's a nice bit to try and keep it alive, although it was incomplete in the end. Maybe he was thinking about a hammer for a split second. Doesn't want that reset pass. Wants to advance the disc down the pitch, but they're now trapped on by the sideline. Calls for the hammer again. Going to go with the scuba. Oh, goes for the beard. Not quite there. There was a lot of crowding around the disc, and that made that throw difficult to execute. But even then, there were other options earlier on that perhaps he could have taken and decided to look off. If the around break or bounce off the fingertips, this is superb field position. He's going to call the timeout, knowing in this game how tight it's going to be. Want to take every opportunity possible to punch in these break chances. Going to see a little replay. This was the bookends on the previous point. You see the benefit of a good fake because it got the mark biting, and that meant he had time to set himself for that. And this is the big old hand block. Love that. Pick and mix, smother it like a picnic blanket. And the scuba with a big bid is not quite good enough. So Old Spice breaking their huddle out of this timeout, and then they're going to need to play some shut-down red zone defense if they're to prevent a break here. Pick and mix looking to avoid the curse of the turnout. There's a big old grey cloud looking very ominous behind us. Not a huge fan of that, I will be honest. Hopeful that the worst is behind us now, though. See the sun beginning to peek through a little bit. Got a player isolated at the front of the end zone. Can try and give him space to goon around in. Going to be pretty much double covered. That's going to leave someone free elsewhere. Dumps slightly poached. Going to go with the high release backhand to the break side. Beats the bracket. Punches in the break for the 6-4 pick and mix lead. Old Spice wasting no time in jogging down to the other end. So after they fought their way back from an early deficit into the lead, Old Spice have surrendered it again. Pick and mix ready to pull. Pulls low and flat down the middle of the pitch. Old Spice trying to advance it before the defence gets set. Very loose mark. Going to shoot deep, looking to the end zone. They've got the height matchup, but it's just overshot. Playing the matchups is not necessarily a bad idea, but that time didn't get it to work. Brian from the front of the end zone, self-checked gratuitously. Obviously, you don't need to do that in the Wifter rules. Going to try and squeeze it down the sideline. That's a nice throw out into space. Option in the centre, it goes behind, and there's no one there to mop up the trash. That's a laser of a shot. Way too much hot sauce on that one. He can't handle his Old Spice. Bit too peppery. So now, pick and mix, bring it in. They're going to get it all in one, and can they tow it in bounds? No, they just keeps on going. It's clearly got somewhere to be. Big old overthrow that. And that would have taken half and gives Old Spice a bit of a get-out-of-jail free card, in all honesty. Nice underneath cut to initiate the play. And another there to advance the disc slightly. Got it in the centre of the pitch. Look for the dump. Now the swing. Right into the bread basket. Backhand towards the forehand side. Extended up line cut. Just about catch it in front of his teammate. On that sideline now. So squeezed up the line again. Oh, good snatch. Clawing that one in. Really well snagged. Now looking towards the end zone. Going to try to get the scuba over the top. That's going to work. A little bit of creativity pays off. Reducing the deficit to just one, but they are still behind to their opponents. 6-5 the current scoreline to pick and mix. They can put this point in. They'll take half with a 2-point advantage. The ball's going to go out at the back of the end zone. Was touched as well, so this is excellent field position to try and get a break. Full on Callahan country. It's going to pop up and just pat it down to the ground. Don't think it would have been caught anyway, but no harm in making sure. And they can break now to take us to sixes, and they're going to do so. That low inside forehand into the end zone ties us up at sixes. See it again there on the replay. Low, just about keeping it up off the turf, goes to his knees to make the catch. But it's all good, and we've got a Galaxy point scenario, sudden death to take half. And that can be such a big momentum changer, or at least a huge advantage for your team at any rate. If you can do the old 2 for none, score going into half and receive the disc out of it. 2 possessions without your opponents ever getting a chance at it. See which side comes out the victor in this scenario. And obviously, if you can win on Galaxy Point and you go to Universe later on in the game, it just shows that you can win those 1-point winner takes all scenarios. That disc lands inbounds, just about rolls out the back. Pick and mix will get it from the front of the end zone. Looking for an underneath, deep cut goes. I think it's just developed under tight pressure. There was a player there, I'm not sure that was the option really. Would have faked it, tried to draw the defender in there and hit another option. That's a swing, setting out that cut nice and early. Not waiting, right at the front of the end zone. 1-2 passes in for the score. It's a break to take us into half time. And after surrendering a 6-4 lead, it's 3 on the trot for Old Spice. See, just getting this off the sideline nice and early, never have to worry about the stall count, having to jam it in. Good job by the handler of setting up that cut nice and early, giving him the option as soon as it was checked in, and the continuation was really well timed out towards that far side. It's a huge pull going up and all the way out of bounds as well. So, going to 15 for the final, apparently. Would have been nice if someone had told us that before. But never mind. So potentially if Pickhamwick scored this, we get another Galaxy point. 2 for the price of 1, even though only 1 was actually a real Galaxy point, if you get what I mean. Anyway. Deep gut takes off. They're going to take the underneath. Oh, it pops up. And mopped up by Old Spice, going for the end zone. Oh, off the fingertips. Couldn't get it in a second attempt either. It was a really good throw and just somehow didn't stay in the clutches. Dished off in the backfield. Doesn't like the underneath cut. Throw pops up again. There's a defender there. Oh, they can't get it. Goes over him as well. And it's a pick-and-mix player who comes up with it. Going to shoot deep, but the throw's going to blade and tail off out of this near side. On the sideline, low, lasered inside flick into the middle of the pitch. Here's the continuation. Fakes the forehand, takes the backhand into the centre instead. Trying to give themselves more field position to work with. Gonna shoot that forehand deep. Oh, lovely stuff. Curls over the defender's head. Rolls back into the path of the receiver. Really well executed, feathered flick. Throw so good he could eat his dinner off it, apparently. And that's going to take us into half-time, slightly longer game, to 15 here in the final. See the replay. Just waits for it to open up. Really lovely weighting on this throw. Right into the path, into the end zone. Defender does not have a shot. And that will take us into half-time. You see the beautiful surrounds of the Glastonbury Tour there in the background. Can take a short little break here on comms, but we'll be with you in a couple of minutes for the exciting conclusion of the Glastonbury Tournament 2018. Welcome back to Glastonbury 2018. It's the second half of the final. Benjamin Rees here with you on the coverage. Old Spice currently 8-6 to the good, pulling to pick and mix. And a rather truncated half-time. Both teams keen to get on with it, squeezing as much Alderman as possible before the cap comes on. Looking for an underneath. Not finding anything in the short range. It's going to be a brief stoppage. Thinks about the deep. Sideline gets loud and probably dissuades that from going. Trapped on the sideline now. Tries to get it off with the backhand, goes over the first pick-and-mix player. Thankfully, he's got some backup. High release backhand of his own. Jumped into the end zone for the pick-and-mix score. Nice start to the second half of them, getting on the board immediately. They're going to need more possessions like that. Relatively comfortable. It was a little bit dicey one where I thought it was an overthrow, but there was someone backing up. And they're still one down at 8-7, but very much still alive in this game. Pick-and-mix get ready to pull even. Allspice will be on the receiving end. Again, quite a low pull. Just focusing on getting it inbounds, not giving up field position to the brick mark. Just around the back, waiting for their offense to get set. Going with a vertical stack look. Trying to find someone in this short space. No one really opening up, tries to squeeze one through. Nice catch under pressure. Back into the centre and now a continuation. Thinks about the upline. He just takes a nice open pass into the centre, going to shoot deep. Oh, but the wrong end on the backhand. Did it somehow stay in his clutches? I think it did. Miraculous stuff from Old Spice. Goal signalled. I think a couple of us were just waiting for the signal. Somehow that stayed in. Just fumbled it, but was able to catch it between his knees. See it from the low angle. Oh, just about stuck in there. They say sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and he was certainly lucky that time. Excellent job of maintaining focus, though. The throw required him to turn probably a bit more quickly than he wanted to. Had a bit too much edge on it. He got underneath the disc, fumbled it the first time round, but doesn't matter if you catch it between your knees as long as you keep it off the ground, and that's what he did. So another outside in backhand pull. Gonna land in bounds and just about go out the back. Nearly astonishingly good. Is going to give the Old Spice defense a chance to get set though. Sideline getting loud. Trying to help up their teammates on the force. Swinging around the back. Cutter comes open. Seeing it down the sideline. Somehow completed under tight pressure. I thought that sure that was going to be defended. No, just taking some little pops in the middle of the field. A little bit of Chuckle Brother play here. To me, to you. Finally they close that off. Goes with a hammer. Oh, right on the spot. In bounds as well. A little knee slide in the end. If you're going to do it with flair. And so a fast, fun start to this second half. Exhilarating breakneck stuff. 9-8 the current score. Can't quite see exactly how close the line he was on that replay. Unfortunate head in the way. Pull goes up from pick and mix. Going with a similar rolling backhand. This one a bit shorter though. Go out the side of the end zone. Well, same result. We'll come to the front right on that trap sideline corner. This is about a position your offense can have the disc, but there's a nice yardage gainer to open things up early on. That throws low, tumbles to the ground, but retains possession on that catch. Doesn't like the up line. Breaks around, gets it off into the centre. Looking for an IO flick. It's going to sit a little bit. Defender could close in here. And goes up nice and early, palms it away. Throws had a little bit of hang and it allowed the defenders to come in. They're going to shoot deep instantly. Oh, bit of a bump. Massive humanity underneath the disc. No call though. So turnover will stand. Old Spice get the disc back. Going to play calm and get it into the middle to start off the possession. Looking for the around. Takes the swing instead. Looks to get an extended up line. Snatched out of the air. Couple of players in that handler set, cluttering things up a little bit. High still tries to squeak it down the sideline. Always out of bounds though. So he's going to surrender the disc back to pick and mix, and with decent field position as well. Just on the far side, and they're going to force in towards the middle of the pitch. That righty flick fakes the lefty. Gets into the centre. And again, losing a few yards this time, but try to open up an easier open side to hit. Tries to blade it around the defenders. Gets it all wrong, though. That was a golden opportunity to tie this game, but they cannot take advantage of it. Just trying to work out exactly whereabouts on the sideline the disc went out of play. Taking the swing to initiate the play. Nice continuation, excellently well timed. Throws a bit low, can't scoop it up. Low and fast is a difficult combination to catch. He couldn't answer the bell that time. Throws a bit behind, but caught. Going to jam it in the jam hole down that far sideline, and we're tied once more. First time in the second half, we're knotted up. 9-all the current score. The hard score cap is 15. I don't know if we'll reach that in the time limit. Highly unlikely, obviously with a slightly higher score cap. I imagine the time cap slightly longer as well. I haven't had that communicated directly. So we can just say which way the final stanza of this game plays out. Ball goes up from pick and mix. Bit of float on that. Handler gets underneath it, makes a nice comfortable catch. Looking for a deep. Force bites is on the ground. High release flick gets it over him. No chance of stopping that one. Not from the floor at any rate. Reset goes off. Squeaks it through into the middle of the field. Not a huge window there, but we're able to thread the needle and find the receiver. Dump goes off. Gets it back up line. Big fake. Looking into the middle this time. Able to work that one down that line. Reset. Gets it slightly closer in towards the middle. Going to go down the line once more off the receiver's hand. Maybe just a little bit too casual, a little too lackadaisical with the catch. So Pick and Mix can retake the lead now. For the first time since 6-5. Throws a bit low. Does a very good job getting both hands there. Nice underneath. Dished off. Pop back once more. Swung towards the middle. Trying to find a backhand, does find one to the force side. Throws a bit behind, can't quite claw it into the breadbasket. Swing goes, no continuation immediately. It's a break opportunity for a brief time, but doesn't want to take on the force. Popped underneath. Again, I think they have these opportunities to break the force a bit more than they're doing. Cuts a little bit early, he's looked off. Gets too close to the sideline that time, just lacked a little bit of field awareness. Straight out of the sideline. No flick. It's trying to milk that all the way into the end zone, and it's a goal top throw and catch as well. Just a lovely, perfectly weighted throw. Leading the receiver to glory. It's perfect, just gets the right edge on it, just sits it, and as a receiver your eyes light up when you see that sort of throw, because you can see there's no one going to close it on it, and you've got time to not quite walk, but definitely take a little bit of pace off as you go into the end zone for a score. That's a strong start to this half for Old Spice. You just look at this half in isolation, they're 4-1 down, so not a huge surprise to see them take a time out here, just see if they can get their heads reset, identify some things to focus on. Pick and mix breaking their huddle. We got 10-9 the current score. In this game to 15. So Pick and Mix getting ready to pull. Old Spice are going to have to fight their way back in order to win this game. That pull's going to go out of bounds. Ball in from the brick mark. The player already marking the spot. Jong it up to the brick mark. Receiver takes off deep. Oh, it's going to be underthrown. And Pick and Mix pick it off. Throw goes up. It's spicy. It's very spicy. Oh, really well defended. Punched almost out the back of the end zone. And a 2-point lead this late in the game would have been tough to overcome, so excellent play. Disc is in. Not a lot going on downfield. Pick and Mix get the disc back. This is excellent field position right in the red zone. See if they can find an option and punch it in. Force keeping active, trying to make any throw as difficult as possible on the sideline now. Be concerned not to let the disc get into the middle. And again, a bit of breathing space from the line. Just to squeeze it in there, not quite in. On the doorstep though. Can they break it in, or thinks about the lefty, decides against it. So focused on that corner, a little hammer over the top, and it's over the top of everyone as well. Patience just ran out. Just goes up as the wind picks up as well, and nobody's going to get that, but he's going to go out of bounds just in front of the cone, so decent field position. for the Old Spice defence. They'd much rather turn it over towards this end zone than the other one. Trying to gum them up downfield, trying to get it to stick on this line. Inside out, throw goes. One of the receivers puts the name on it, puts the disc up. Oh, this is a bit of a hospital pass. Going to be anybody underneath it, and it's no one in the end. The wind really picking up now. Going towards this near side right corner, the bottom right corner of your screen. Looking in the end zone. Nice little swing pass. Continuation on this sideline. Oh, it's just going to bounce off the receiver's hands. Bakermake's going to take their time. Slowly walk towards the disc. Once again, they're going to try and trap them on this sideline. Throw is low. Inbounds. It was an out call, but I think it's been swiftly retracted. Percy's going to get back into their positions. Looking towards the end zone. Not liking what he sees. High stall, going to jam in a really knifey hammer. Oh, there are three receivers there, and the handler puts his hand in the air. It's like, how did you not catch that? But he wasn't necessarily an easy throw. It came down at a very knifey angle, almost pure vertical, perpendicular to the ground, and that's so difficult to catch, especially in this wind. This game's ground down a little bit. Not seeing a lot of action downfield. So he's going to bounce off the receiver's hands, and it's going to be caught for a Callahan. It might be a little foul call here, though. Anna seems to be saying that she felt some contact, maybe thinks that the defender went over the back. Try and get another look at it. It's a D from earlier. That's the nice little bookends. See it again now. It's difficult to tell from that angle. Does get the disc first, but obviously that's not the point. It's always difficult to tell from this angle exactly how much contact occurred. And call came up pretty quickly, and I think it's going to be... This is going to stay with Old Spice here. And they're not going to keen to make the same mistake again. Big yardage gainer downfield, thinks about the deep, looks it off. Going to push it back into the backfield. Trying to zing it down the sideline. Oh, what a catch! An iron claw on that one. And receiver wide open at the front of the end zone, ties it up. Fakes the kick spike and goes for the punch instead. So we're tied up at 10s.
Are you coming to Poland? Yeah, man.
Will, do you know if we've got a different time cap? So we're tied at 10s here in the Glastonbury final. Most of the other games wrapped up. So the time cap for this game slightly longer than the others, 60 rather than 50 minutes. Which makes sense given the slightly higher score count, going to 15 rather than 13. Dumped back into the backfield. High release. Disc in the centre of the pitch, going with the hammer. It's nicely weighted, doesn't overshoot it. It's going to be so tempting to do in those scenarios. Dumps it off. Oh, quick release backhand into the end zone for the goal. Bigger Mix retake the lead. Nice offensive possession there for the side in white. (11-10) the current scoreline. Cap due to come on in just a minute or two. And with the tournament just about out to close, we still don't know who's going to come out on top after what's been a thrilling weekend here at the Glastonbury tournament. In Masters Nationals yesterday. And the teams fed into the tournament today, and these are the last two standing. Oh, that throw is going to pop up. Collected by Pick and Mix. Dump backwards. Travel called. Going to get the disc back. Stalls on 3. Nice loud communication, good to hear. Looking for the throw up the line. Fakes the swing into the backfield. Gets the round there. Going for another hammer. Oh, that one's really well executed as well. Found a bit of flair and Pick and Mix open a 2-goal lead now at 12-10. There's so little time left in this game. That may be all she wrote. The Old Spice will be determined to make sure that there's still some twists left in this game. Pick and Mix just choosing their defensive assignments, getting ready to pull. Disc floats, is going to come towards the centre of the pitch and it's going to catch it rather than choose to take it at the brick. Trying to get the disc moving quickly. Had a chance to put it deep with no force, but there was not a cut he liked. Big bid there. Going to try and lead his receiver down the line. Just a bit too far. Pick and Mix, mop it up, and oh, nice work. Just getting a hand in there, disrupting the disc, knocking it to the ground. There's the hooter for this game, so we'll finish the point at 1. Oh, just a touch too far, was a big bid. Thought that was going to be a score, but couldn't quite clutch it in. So a temporary lull in proceedings as Pick and Mix bring the disc to the front of the end zone, and if they could convert this break and score here, they'd all but certainly be crowned champions. Trying to zing it deep, but a big layout D, smacking it to the ground. Got a whole hand on that and it needed it, so they didn't just tip the disc back up in the air. Takes a forehand, backhand to the far side. Trying to work it down that channel. Takes the reset. Trying to punch it in, disc in the middle, give themselves more space to play with on either side. Continuation into the end zone, to the chest is caught. 12-11 in favour of Pick and Mix, the current scoreline, game to 13. We'll see what the conclusion of this tournament has in store for us. It would feel kind of fitting at the end of a thrilling weekend if there was maybe one or even a couple of final stings in the tail here at Glasgow. Catching the pull, trying to get the disc moving quickly. Just one-on-one defense as it has been for majority of the game for both these sides. Little dished backhand. Right on this sideline, trying to get a big force, trap them here. Toes the line, keeps it in bounds. And again, just working it down that sideline. I'd like to get it off, but as long as they can keep just in possession and keep gaining yards, I'm not sure how much they'll really mind. Do finally. Gives up the winning room, going and end it with the hammer. I wanted to end it in style, but too knifey, just sails out the back of the end zone. Good done with being a little bit flatter, giving a bit more of a chance for it to be caught. This is going to be walked up to the front of the end zone. They can work the disc down the field here. We'll go to sudden death, and it feels that's always the way a tournament should end, with a sudden death final. Have to get there first, though. Nice round break to start things off. It's back into the centre now. Also, it's looking very calm. You wouldn't know that we're at a tight end of game final. Good pressure downfield. Finally finds an underneath coming free. Into the centre. Continuation to this side. Thinks about the deep, doesn't like it. Just want to maybe play a bit more conservatively with the game on the line. High cab, that's a really, really nice catch. Utilising his full reach to get that one in. Oh, just a miscommunication on the reset. Thought the dump was going one way and the disc went the other. And this could be game over if they can convert it. On the edge of the red zone. Pick and Mix will pick up with a chance to be Glasgow champions. Handler goes up the line, doesn't like the look, back into the centre. Steps out for that flick, just going to pop the backhand into the middle. There's going to be a call. I think a pick maybe as they came through the stack. Little slap of hands. Good to see spirit and sportsmanship still on display this late in the game and in the weekend. Sometimes it can be a little bit difficult, but oh, a big bid comes flying through when everyone's this tired and exhausted. I see they're still in the right frame of mind. Fourth getting active. Try to zing the inside out through. Oh, bid is empty, and Pick and Mix are going to be your 2018 Glastonbury Tournament champions. Old Spice came so close. They gave him a hell of a game and very nearly stole another possession there on that end zone shot. But in the end, Pick and Mix powered through It's a number of tight games this weekend, but they triumphed in all of them. And they're going to take home a much-deserved trophy here from the Glastonbury tournament. See it on the replay, still count rising, just sees a window and really just has to leather it in there, does not hold back at all. Defender comes so close, but not quite close enough. Spikes, just slams it to the ground in jubilation and celebration. Faking and looking and not seeing anything. Just eyes locked on the end zone, never looks for the reset. Just sees a window and just throws it in there as hard as he can almost. And there's a receiver there to answer his prayers. Just going to say a big thank you to everyone who's helped us this weekend, to Ed, the tournament director, who does an excellent job every year, the past couple of years with Glastonbury tournament. It's a little pop up at the top of the screen there. For Abel Stoke, thanks so much, Ed, for all your help this weekend. Thanks to the staff here at the Tor Leisure Centre, for Will and Des, our camera and graphics crew, have been such a great help bringing you this footage all weekend. I've been Benjamin Rees. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to leave you with a little highlights package of a final, and we'll see you next year at Glastonbury 2019.
Spend a little money, waste time. I just wanna do what I do. I just wanna do what I do. I don't wanna say what's on my mind. I just wanna drink a little wine. Might get a little bit high. Spend a little money, waste time. I just wanna do what I do. I say.
Out of sight, out of mind, ain't that right, baby? Escaping time. But your mind over matter ain't showing its face. Your place in the matter shows a losing game. It's out of sight when it's out of mind. So I say, what you gonna do about it? How you gonna handle it this time? Tell me that you'll think about it. So what you gonna do about it? How you gonna handle it this time? Tell me that you'll think about it.
string. Find time to rid the world of all your precious sin. There lies the library man, living in his paginated life. I'll find solitary in the pages in between. F-pause, broke machine, all these better things. Run, tell a better man, go find him if you can. On my radar, I see you on my radar. You know you're on my radar. I got you on my radar. Uncertain times, uncertain times. I yell poetry to heady men to listen. You Bible bashing bigots, keep